Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Happy New Year. It's January 8th. It's an amazing Wednesday, and we're back. It's the Real Deal Pod with Allister and Geoff, and we're back here. Man, what a New Year's we're running into. We've got governmental collapses. We've got world uncertainty. We had World Juniors Team Canada collapse chaos. But in all the craziness, in all the madness, we have the voices of reason still with us. Yes, that's right. Me, Alistair Carrington, my main man, Geoff Lee. Geoff, how are you, buddy? How you doing?
Well, Happy New Year to you. It started all
Happy New Year.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm trying to get back into the saddle after having some good quality time away. And I'll be honest, it's hard to jump back on the horse when you haven't ridden it for a bit. So
Right.
So yeah, just trying to get in the groove and trying to get back into the swing of things for 2025.
Did you do anything exciting?
Did I do anything exciting, or
Did you?
am I going to do anything exciting?
No. Did you do anything exciting?
Yes, I did many of exciting things.
Nice.
I went on a cruise with my girlfriend and my sisters to the Eastern Caribbean, which was great. Everybody that came off that cruise was sick, so I'm still hanging on to that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was nasty. Then went up to Kamloops to see my mother. Had a great had a really good New Year's. Ran a half a marathon on January 1st, which was great. But again, I haven't been exercising very well for about 3 weeks there. So when you just jump right back into something like that, you realize that, hey, maybe you shouldn't have done that because now you can't walk very well. So,
man, no wonder you're tired, buddy. No wonder you're having a hard time getting back into things. You just exhausted yourself. That's like a year's worth of stuff in 2 weeks.
I know. I just came back from Whistler. It's been a whirlwind. It's been a whirlwind.
Good for you.
So I'm happy to get back into the saddle and get a nice routine going on. How about you?
Me, man, I had a great holidays. We did not go anywhere, so it was nice. It was nice. It was quiet. My mom came in for like Christmas, pre-Christmas, right? Because she got to be home with my dad and stuff to celebrate the actual event with him. But she came to visit us, and so we had that windstorm, that huge windstorm that happened, right, middle of December. Well, that coincided with our Christmas dinner. So it was Sunday. We had all of the stuff ready to go, ready to cook Sunday morning. And at 7:45 a.m., we did not have any power. So we didn't have power till 9:45 in the evening. Thankfully, Papa, on his way in, picked up Pizza Hut. So our Christmas dinner, which was the December the 13th with my mom and stuff like that and the brother-in-law and sister-in-law, that was a Pizza Hut Christmas dinner instead of the full turkey. So that was fun.
Pizza, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it was actually fun. We joked around. It was a blackout Christmas, and blackout Christmas with the Pizza Hut. So that was fun. And then we took my mom to the Cloverdale holiday, or the Surrey. Sorry, it was in Cloverdale. The Surrey Noel Christmas Lights Festival. That's what it was called. Amazing. So it was the first time it was held here in BC. Like, it's normally held in the States, in Milwaukee and stuff like that. So this year was the first. Yeah, this year was its annual event. It was amazing. So Cloverdale, you put on an amazing show, guys. What an amazing event. It was really, really nice. And then we had Christmas.
What exactly was it, or is it?
It's basically like it's a path. So they take the whole Cloverdale Fairgrounds, right? Both the inside barn and then the whole outside where the pathways are and everything like that. It's just Christmas lights, big decorations and all of that sort of stuff. So absolutely amazing. So we took my mom to that. So she enjoyed it. My mom was all over the place taking pictures, wandering away. We kept going, "Where's grandma? We can't let grandma wander off. She'll get lost." So yeah, that was an amazing time. And then of course, Christmas Day was great. That was quiet with the family and Papa because brother-in-law and sister-in-law were in Summerlin visiting her parents. And then my mom, of course, went back to with my sister and my dad to celebrate Christmas there. So it was just nice. It was nice.
Nice. Well,
Yeah. But like I said, with all that niceness and with all that calmness, we have now entered 2025, which is now a season seeming to be of chaos. Like I said, with governmental craziness and us maybe being absorbed into the United States and the ministers finally taking that seriously and saying, hey, we got to do something. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that because I'll start getting angry. Let's start talking about positive stuff. I know this year, right? We're like, and that's actually how I wanted to start this sucker is I don't make New Year's commitments. And I know Geoff, or resolutions, let me correct that. I don't make New Year's resolutions. And I don't believe Geoff makes New Year's resolutions either. But our commitment to you guys out there in 2025, we are doubling down on the value that we're delivering to you this year. So that is what I wanted to kick off today with, was our New Year's commitment to our folks and our listeners out there is that we are doubling down on the value that we deliver to you this year. So we had so much craziness. We had a year of slow sales and we're having all these crazy predictions. We're going to have a crazy spring. And now there's backpedaling saying it may not be that crazy. And so there's so much going on. But what I wanted to kick off this year with, not did you hear? That'll be next year. It's did you predict? And so what I wanted to talk about, I think, is the one thing, Geoff, that hasn't been talked about and is the one thing that I think will be a big factor in real estate this year. And it's the shift towards niche and intentional properties. So there's been a rise, right, of niche properties. Geoff, would you agree? Like laneway houses. We've now seen eco villages, right? Senior living communities, right? We were starting to see that. You and I were having that discussion with that new eco community our development that's going on. So this I think is going to be the biggest piece that buyers need to look into, right? If you're an investor, investors now definitely need to start looking into this area. And if you're a realtor, realtors need to start understanding this space and potentially becoming a part of this space, because buyers and renters are increasingly prioritizing properties that serve more than one purpose, right? So whether it's housing multiple generations or offering co-living opportunities, right? They want to reduce their environmental footprint. So the affordability crisis has been a major contributor, right, to the development of this space. I don't know, Geoff. What are you thinking? I'm waiting for you to kind of kick in here. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I going on the right track? What do you think?
Well, I think there is a big push going toward green homes and environmentally friendly homes, which we talked about.
Think about Laneway too.
Yeah,
with the urban density changes, Geoff, in Vancouver, right? Those are going to be massive. I like out of all of these shifts, my belief is that laneway houses will be the biggest shift.
Yeah, well, I think at the end of the day, you got two subjects going on here. If you're talking about green homes and carbon imprinting, that I think is a future thing that people are working towards. Be it developers or just
there's the Harborside co-housing project that's already in North Van. So that's what I mean. These have already started. So these shifts, whether it be the laneway houses, whether it be those eco villages, I think the biggest emerging trend out of the things would be the senior living community, right? That out of those intentional shifts, that That is, I think, the one that is more forthcoming. But the eco villages is already here. Laneways, we've already had 4,000 permits approved in Vancouver since 2009.
Yeah, I think laneway homes are going to be definitely on the rise just because for a whole bunch of different reasons. Number one, you can refinance back up to 95% when you are creating rental units within your primary residence. That's going to initiate a lot of people to do that. You're seeing density, as we said, is that
Yeah.
we have a lot of population with not a lot of rental space.
Yeah.
So that's going to have a creation in there.
And I beg your pardon, the last one. So just to cut in, but the last one I forgot to mention, and it's the next biggest one to laneway housing. It's the vertical living. That'll be the next one, is the vertical living change. So yeah, those are the three. Those are the four factors that I wanted us to kind of discuss. Sorry, I missed the next biggest one was vertical living because of that new Burnaby project. Right, that was the one that I wanted to call out. Right, that's going to be the tallest. That is soon to be BC's tallest building.
Yeah. Well, and again, that makes sense because we have a population that needs places to be, and we really don't have that housing solution as of yet. So I think because of that, you're going to see a lot of discussion about what type of properties are going to be needed and which are now being developed. But again, it's just trying to complete a need that's there. But
it is, but I think for buyers, and I just think for people in general, this is a shift that people now have to pay attention to because this is something that they're going to have to potentially fit into, right? You know, if you single family homes, right? The affordability of single family homes, as we know, is unaffordable, right? So this is the biggest shift I think that people that nobody's talking about. Everybody's talking about what's going to go on with rates, what's going to go on with the housing prices. Well, let's say what's gone on with rates. Rates have come down, housing prices haven't, people aren't buying. That's the story. That was the story last year. That's the story right now. And that is the story going into spring. It's not going to change in springtime, especially now with all of this uncertainty that's going on within the world and within the world, both within our borders and without. So now I think the biggest thing that people need to start focusing on is this type of housing, right? To understand, because affordability is what is the genesis of this, right? I think that this is a solution that people do have to look at now.
Yeah, you know what, I may come from a different opinion. I know where you're going with this, but I also know that every year at the beginning of it, it seems like no matter what year that we've ever been in, there's always something that people are going to be focused on, right?
No, yeah, for sure.
And I know that this is based on 2024, we know that there is a housing crisis and overpopulation. So how do you resolve that? And that's by the creation of, laneway homes. That's by the creation of high density homes. That's by the creation, not necessarily of eco-friendly homes, because I think that's kind of the green homes is kind of like a unique kind of property, but eco-friendly villages and that idea.
Those are attracting, though, that I will say, those are attracting the millennials. So that's the other thing, right? So when you're a realtor, right? So for the realtors that are listening, this is where you understand, you start looking at, there's a lot of youth that are now starting to look into those eco villages, right? So if you're a realtor, it's something to start understanding. So that's what I mean. I wanted to look at prediction. These are what I predict are going to be major factors within the market that aren't what we're normally going to talk about. Rates in the market, because at the end of the day, the rates are going to drop and prices won't. That's not a prediction. That's a guarantee. Am I right? Are rates going to go up, Jeff?
No, I don't believe rates are going to go up. I think rates are going to stabilize. I think predictions are your variable rate is going to continue to go down.
Right.
Fixed rates are determined by what Mr. Trump is going to be doing on his American soil.
Right.
But
And
my prediction is that that we are going to be busy.
we are.
We feel that we already feel that we are busy. I feel
We
that
are.
I feel
But
more
those, I
people
think those, sorry, go ahead.
I feel more people are going to be more comfortable jumping in to the housing market, right?
Yeah.
I feel that as one leads, the rest will follow. And at the end of the day, we have a housing shortage. So that's
For
also
sure.
going to be a topic for this new
But
government coming in,
but
right?
that's what but that's what I'm saying. These four factors are all going to play a part in it because those four factors all address everything that you just said. They all address housing. They address the affordability. They address the heating up of the market. And if you are busy, right, if you are buying, then you need to understand what is the difference between me buying a laneway home and a townhome or a single family home or a condo. But it's another product for you that's available for you and for you to understand. So that's my point, is that everybody's going to be talking about those things. But the biggest factors, I think, are going to be these, right? Because they are addressing the needs.
Yeah, and it comes down to what is that price point of a laneway home? What is that
Well,
price point of an eco village?
everything's cost of value, right? Everything in life is cost of value. It's cost of value. It's what does it cost and how much do I value it? That's what anything and everything in life is, right? When you look at a Ferrari, the Ferrari is $250,000. Most people don't see the cost of value, right? But there are people that see the cost of value, right? So so that's what I mean when it comes down to affordability. It's finding that niche to where yes, the cost to value is there, right? Like that when it comes down to pricing, that's what pricing is. It drives me nuts. Everybody tries to think that pricing is this magical scientific number. It's not a scientific number. It's cost to value. How much does the person value it? Period.
Yeah.
That's all. If you're charging $800,000 for your product and nobody's buying it, your cost of value is off.
Yeah.
So like that's what I mean with pricing. Pricing's like is significant and insignificant all at the same time, right? It's significant when you're doing it properly. It's insignificant when you're not looking at the right things, right? Because you're not choosing to focus on the right issue, right?
Well,
so going back to the whole topic, go ahead.
I want to circle back to a comment that you said. I thought you said that you feel that 2025 is not going to be busy.
No, I believe it will get busier, but it's not going to be busy right now. And it's not going to be busy in spring. I don't believe it's going to be busy in spring. I don't believe it's going to be busy until summer. I'm getting busier, right? I know my clients are busy, but guess what? I'm busy with people that are that are now, for example, one of the reasons I was late for the pod today, I took a client out to go see a property that we're going to look at flipping. Well, guess what? What just went into effect today? Or not today, but the beginning of January.
And I think this is where we're going to agree to disagree. I feel that we are going to have a busy.
The no flipping tax. Okay, the no flipping tax, but that's when the no flipping tax went in. I went out with the no flipper, but that's because I'm working with people that, with some people that can get through the exemptions. Not everybody. I don't believe for the bulk of Canadians. I don't believe the bulk of the Canadians are going to say springtime is now. I feel comfortable. I feel more comfortable now than I did in November, because there is a lot more uncertainty that is happening right now in the news that is going to push those people back. That is what I'm saying. The other people, I believe, are still going to be busy. I'm still going to be busy, right? But I'm saying from a macro perspective, my belief is we're still going to have buyers sit on the sidelines, and they're going to utilize that uncertainty as a reason to not buy. So I believe that there are going to be busy people like myself, yes. But I believe from a macro perspective, no, I don't believe that we're going to have a smoking hot spring like we were trying to predict it was going to happen last year. Remember last year, I was talking about springtime becoming more expensive than the peak of the market at COVID, did I not? People are backtracking that now. So
Well,
I'm listening to the people. I'm going with the most current news. I'm not going to sit there and trumpet a horn where I have all the majority of the analysts, one being, Royal LePage, who deals with Canadian real estate, that is now saying, hey, we may not hit that arc like we thought.
I think I'm going to go with something half full versus half empty. And I think to touch on a couple of your
I'm
comments.
positive that we're going to have a great spring with those properties.
So this is where I'm at. I'm going to look at something that's a little bit more half full than half empty. And even to a couple of your comments this is what the media is projecting. When I hear that, it goes back to what I've always said, is that humans get triggered by what they hear in the media. And the reality of it is you may very well be true, because again, the media can turn things around very, very quickly to the positive and or to the negative.
That's
right?
their job.
So at the end of the day, yes, there is a lot of topics in the media that people can talk about, and really surrounding about what Trump is doing in the US and how that's going to affect Canada, which again, what does the media do? It sells fear and sex, right? What do human nature does? Let's listen to the media. Let's listen to what the radio says. To your point, yes, things may be cooling down or may cool down outside of what was being projected in November and December, where a lot of people were projecting that 2025 was going to be insanely busy in the real estate side, right? So to me, I always like to look at things half full. I think what's going to happen with Trump and what he's going to be doing in this presidency is going to have an impact as far as how people are going to react. But I also think it's a little bit too early to give those big expectations as far as what's going to happen in the spring or what's going to happen in 2025, because we really don't know. Like, we're forecasting as far as what may be happening based on
okay.
what
So
we've been hearing.
I think you misinterpreted then what I was talking about. What these predictions are is these four categories are going to play a big part in the space, whether it's busy or not. Laneway houses, high rises, high or vertical lifestyle living, eco villages, and the senior living. Those four categories are going to play a major part in our real estate, no matter how busy or how slow it is. That was the prediction. So it wasn't whether or not we were going to be busy, because I am going to be busy, and I do believe we're going to have a steady market, right? Whatever happens is what happens. But that was what the prediction was, right? Is these four categories will have a big part, and that's the part that nobody's talking about. Everybody's going to be talking about the rates. Everybody's going to be talking about whether it's busy or not, right? That's not going to be the point. It's these four categories that I mentioned are going to play a big part in our real estate, no matter how busy or non-busy it is, because they are addressing all of the needs that we have as Canadians and we are facing here in British Columbia. That is what they're actually focusing on. So that's why they're going to be those things that actually shape our BC market in 2025. More so than the rates, more so than the pricing.
So let's take this down a little bit of a different road. Why, in your own words, and I have my opinions on this, tell us why senior living is going to be unique for 2025. Tell me why vertical buildings are going to be a niche for 2025. Tell me about these eco villages. Tell me your insight as far as why you believe that these are going to be unique for 2025 and areas that people need to focus on.
Vertical living is already growing fast, for example, right? It's the way millennials are choosing to live, and especially with density challenges, we're being forced into that type of lifestyle as it is. So we have literally just a changing society. We have a changing demographic. There is not so much the old man, the get off my lawn, the old man get off my lawn anymore. So, for example, my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, they're my age. They live in Vancouver. They have no desire to live in the suburbs like I do. And that is where now we see a generational shift. So vertical living just where that mentality is going, and it's what's the word I'm searching for? It's correcting or fixing density issues at the same time.
Yeah,
right?
that's where I was just going to jump into. Like, to me, vertical living is unique, or not necessarily unique, is going to be a topic of conversation because of affordability. So if you take a look at vertical living in Vancouver versus detached home living, notably different for price range. So there's the affordability, but also the density, right? Where are you going to put these people? You have to put them vertically.
Right.
So yeah, I agree with that. And I think that's going to be a huge thing moving forward. Absolutely.
Now, when you look at senior living, because that's the biggest one. So that's one of the things that are starting to boom, especially in Victoria. Right. And that's because we have a rapidly aging population. Right. And with higher density, right? Well, we're also lowering the amount of space for people to live in, right? So we need care facilities, right? We need facilities that are blending medical care, social spaces, and recreation. So that's why now we're seeing these villages start to boom. There's one here in Clayton, right?
We're talking senior living. Yeah.
Senior living, right? So that's why these spaces now are starting to grow so much, right? And hold on. We also took away 55 plus, right, out of the condo market, right? Didn't take it out. You can still have it, but it's starting to become rare, right, in condos, right, with Mr. Evie doing what he did, right? So now that's developed a need for actual senior living.
Yeah.
Right.
We have we do have an aging population, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing, again, circling back to affordability, senior living is cheaper than living in a different community. Like, again, back in the day, 55 plus condo or a townhouse was always a little bit more affordable than ones that were not age restricted.
Here's a stat: 1 in 4 people in British Columbia by 2030 will be over 65.
Yeah, 25% of 25% of British Columbians. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So that's one of the biggest reasons, of course. And then the eco villages, like I said, these retirees. So I left out, like, it's an attraction to both retirees, but more so the millennials. That's a huge attraction for our millennials, surprisingly enough.
So before you jump into eco villages, explain to people what is an eco village, because, again, there's a lot of people out there is like, what's he talking about?
Well, an eco village is literally a village where you're sharing gardens. You basically share gardens, share communal spaces. It's a village. So think of yourself in a small village in Kenya, right? That's
community living.
It's community living. It's a village. It's you grow together, you plant gardens together, you live sustainably together. You sustained living together, right? So that has become a massive attraction, again, due to affordability. It's a way that millennials are choosing to live now. I didn't know so much that retirees were, but there is a segment of retirees that are attracted to that lifestyle as well. So that has become another big focal point, I think, or will be a big focal point. I'm sorry, in 2025 and beyond. It's the one that's just in its inception. Like I said, there's the one in North Van, right? There's the one in North Van, but they're few and far between right now. But you're seeing more and more starting. I think there's 2 more up for development right now, right? So that's why I'm saying you're seeing the shape take place, and that's why I'm saying, like, these four, right, categories, right? These 4 categories, I think, are the 4 that are really going to shape what our real estate looks like in 2025. No matter, right, how busy or how slow or whatever our market looks like going anywhere, right, going forward. These are the 4 categories, I believe, that are going to shape our market.
And eco living too, it seems like people are getting geared more towards that community living. I know
Yeah.
the elderly, my mother, for example, one of her biggest complaints is that she's lonely, right? She doesn't
Yeah.
have a community.
Yeah.
So when you have these eco villages, which are all based on community, I can see why that would attract elderly people. I can see why that would attract younger people because the mentality is getting geared towards that. I'm really interested though to see because it's so into its infancy. I'm really curious to see where it will develop. Right.
Yeah, those two I think are on the outside. Like I would say, like the eco villages, because like I said, there's the one in North Van, and then there's two I believe that are coming up into development into this year, and then the senior livings they're just starting to make. But the two that are going to have the biggest impact quickly, of course, are going to be the Laneway homes and vertical living. Those are going to be the two categories that directly, like now, let's say start impacting the market real fast.
Because
Real
it
fast.
addresses the two most needed
Biggest
right now, which is affordability and
density.
And density.
And density. Yeah. And
well,
with
I think this was a good pod.
Was this it?
We're already 31 minutes in, so
I know. Are we going to end it here? Or are we going to do the home? We were going to do home insurance, and I was kind of like, that actually just ties into what we were all just talking about.
You know what? To be honest, I think as much as people love us, I think if we go longer, people
I know, and end it with insurance.
They want to tune us out. So
and end it on insurance, Jeff. That would be awful.
And end it on next week. We're going to be talking about home insurance, which is going to be a segue into what we just concluded here. But for Allister, I want you to basically wrap this up in what were we calling it before, the wrapping it up in 1 minute or less?
1 minute wrap up. Holy crow, man! Say that.
We'll maybe give you 3 on this one, but again,
I can wrap it up really fast, guys. Really, this year, guys, it's we as Jeff and I stated, it's uncertainty. There's going to be a lot of disagreement, whether it's going to be busy, whether prices are going to go up, whether rates are going to drop, and all of that sort of thing. There's going to be disagreement everywhere. The most important thing, though, to keep your eye on is those 4 categories, but the 4 categories being laneway houses, vertical living, eco living spaces, and senior living communities. Those are four categories that I really think are going to play a big factor this year in our real estate world. The biggest 2, though, to keep an eye on, of course, are laneway houses and vertical living, because those are directly addressing needs right now, being affordability and density. It is going to get busier, though, guys. When we say that, I promise you spring is going to be busy. Is it going to be record-breaking busy? I'm not on that side anymore. I've been listening to the analysts. I've been seeing the numbers. I don't think we're going to be breaking COVID numbers. But at the end of the day, we don't have a crystal ball, and we can't say that for sure. And that's why it's so important that you listen to us, or you listen to somebody that you trust, and you stay close, right? And you stay close to the market, because it can turn. It could turn. We don't know what's going on with our political indoors, right? We don't know what's happening with our own government right now. Our own government's not in great shape, right? Never mind having to listen to the outside noise. So just quick wrap up.
I go back to even pre-COVID. Pre-COVID, the world was crashing. Everything was going to dismantle.
Right.
What happened to the real estate? It was the busiest.
It went bananas.
It's ever seen. So
it went bananas.
So that's why I'm always a half full kind of guy, right? So
oh yeah, I'm never empty. I'm always but I'm conservative by nature. Maybe that's because it's the way I vote. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that out loud. And no, I'm not a Trump carrot bottom supporter. I'm not a Trump-servative, as I call my local people here that are. Anywho's, that's my only political stance on that I will take. Yeah, no, I'm a glass full guy. I always like to make sure people are informed and don't get taken advantage by the media, because yes, the media does sell fear, does sell sex, and does sell lies. That's the way they get paid, right? They will tell you the best thing to do for you when it's too late.
Yeah.
right? And they will tell you what not to do when it's too early. And that's always for the other people that control the media to be able to take advantage. So that's what I want people to understand is, yes, take everything the media says for sure. But the problem is when they're telling it to you, it's too late, right? That's really what the issue is. So you have to trust the people. You have to trust the people that you develop relationships with. And Geoff and I hope that we are developing that relationship with you guys. Like I said, that is why we are doubling down in 2025, our commitment being to deliver to you guys as much value as you could possibly get, because this could be a crazy 2025, and man, you're going to need it. So with that being said, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys again so much for listening. Please remember to download us, share us, tell everybody you know about us. And most importantly, leave us your comments. Keep telling us how we can improve for you and what you want us to hear. And with that being said, stay empowered, stay informed, and most importantly, Geoff,
stay in tune.
Stay in tune. That's right, people. We'll chat next week. Bye now.
All right. Y'all have a nice day.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Allister Carrington Real Estate, the spot for all things real estate. Thanks for watching. If you're looking for expert insights and guidance, be sure to hit that subscribe or follow button and turn on those notifications. You won't want to miss a thing. And for even more in-depth tips, join me and my good friend Geoff Lee on the Real Deal Pod. Each week, we're diving into real estate strategies, marketing trends, and a device you can use right away. Find us here on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you tune in, and make sure to follow us both on Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, stay informed, stay empowered, and most importantly, stay tuned.